And welcome back to 40 Fitness. All right, today we're going to talk about dieting and losing weight. A lot of people are confused about what you can and cannot do, how you should and should not eat, when it comes to dieting and losing weight. And that varies from person to person. Now, what I notice a lot of people are not doing is counting the sugars in the fruit that they're eating. Now, it's true that fructose is digested differently from regular sugars, because it goes to the liver, it doesn't release like insulin all that much and everything like that, but it doesn't mean go ham with the fruit. Your liver can only store so much of the liver glycogen or so much of the fructose before it spills over and stores into fat in your body. So therefore, you got to be careful of the amount of fruit that you're eating. Now, especially if you're processing that fruit through juicing it. When you juice the fruit, you actually separate the fiber, from the fructose, which help it, digest more in the liver and digest slowly. So beware of that when you processing your fruit. Another thing I want to touch on is, what I do to lose weight or what I had to do. I tried several different methods to lose weight. First, I tried to eat, 4 or 5 meals a day. That wasn't working out for me. And the reason why it wasn't working because I wasn't weighing my food. I would just eat what I considered to be 4 or 5 small meals a day. The second thing I do was I went down to 4 meals a day. And that wasn't working for the same reason. I never measured out my food. So I never knew how much I had going in. Now, the reason why I wasn't measuring my food, I never had time. I was working 2 or 3 jobs, and sometimes just because of laziness. I never meal prepped on the weekend. That was my day to have my fun or do whatever I was going to do. I never really had time for it or just didn't feel like doing it. But what I did discover with intermittent fasting was the way for me. It was the way to go for me. Because during intermittent fasting, I was just eating 2 or maybe 3 meals a day, and it wasn't that big meals. It was easier to control. It was easier to adjust 2 or 3 meals than to adjust 4 or 5 meals. It was easier for me to eyeball my first meal or to say, okay, I'm gonna do a keto meal, the first meal, which is basically mostly protein and fats and no carbs, and then do a little bit more moderate carbs and the moderate fat, moderate protein for my second and third meal. It was easy adjustments when it came to doing the 3 meals a day. Then when I wanted during my weight loss stall, I went down to 2 meals a day. So it was easy for me to skip breakfast. I actually was able to get up, get off work early. I would drink a huge drink, such like a Bai drink or whatever, which didn't spike insulin that much and wasn't sweetened with sugar, it was sweetened with stevia. So I was able to do that. So this is what I do. I get up now in the morning. I might have me like 4 or 5 Brazil nuts and maybe like one serving of pecans, and I have a Bai drink. So that'd be my breakfast. That's what I'll eat. Um, After that, I would wait for lunch. I would have maybe 6 ounces of chicken breast. I would have 2 bananas, 2 eggs, 2 servings of celery, and that'd be it for my lunch. Then when I came home for dinner, I had whatever we was having at dinner, which was really like either chicken or fish or whatever. It wasn't really that bad, and it would help me stay under calorie. That was my last meal. My dinner was my last meal of the day. Now, the most important thing that people are not doing when it comes to losing weight, that what they gotta understand is you gotta cut out the snacking. That is the number one thing. So when you first start any kind of diet or any kind of eating pattern, the first thing you want to do is eliminate the snacks, even the so-called healthy snacks. Just eliminate them, and that would, stop a whole lot of issues. With people saying, "Oh, I'm eating healthy," and then they'll tell you what they're eating or tell you what they're doing instead of eating, and it winds up being just as unhealthy as them eating an unhealthy meal or eating, way more calories. Some people just need to cut out all sugars or as much sugar as they possibly can. What we don't understand is that sugar is in everything. My big thing was I used to get home or wake up in the morning. I used to want to eat oatmeal. You see all the bodybuilders, everybody, eat oatmeal. But I could not stand plain oatmeal. It was not my cup of tea, very nasty to me. I couldn't have sugar, so I needed something to sweeten it up. My first go-to was honey because you heard how much more healthier honey was than sugar. But guess what? As far as a teaspoon, honey has more calories than sugar. So when I discovered that, I was like, oh my God, I had to stop using honey. So I went towards more natural sweeteners. So I started using raisins and this PB2 powder, that was recommended by some bodybuilders and, YouTube fitness guys. So I was using a serving desk, which was 2 tablespoons. It has 15 calories, so that's 30 calories. And then it had 2 grams of sugar. Now, that's not that bad. It's not that bad. It was my what I put in my oatmeal for breakfast. Then, it wasn't sweet enough. It still wasn't palatable enough for me to want to eat it. So I put raisins with it. Now, raisins got a lot of health benefits. But what I did find out was these box of raisins, each box was like 17 grams of sugar and only 1 gram of fiber. So I had to stop doing that. Now, when I put away just these 2 things, the raisins and the PB2 powder, and so I just stopped eating oatmeal. I said, forget it. I just have, a handful of nuts, the Brazil nuts and the pecans, give me a big buy drink, run out the door, and it kept me full all the way to lunch. When I started doing that, my weight dropped dramatically. I went from 250 pounds to 213 pounds in 2 months. I had my lunch, I had my dinner, and that was my go-to breakfast. Like I said, 5 Brazil nuts, a serving of pecans, and a buy drink. That's what I had. The ones I used to drink the ones in the can first, because I used to love their the ginger root, and they stopped making the ginger root, so I started getting the ones in the bottom, and it's like 2 servings in the bottom. And I would drink that on my way to work, and it would have me kind of full. Just like, if you like water or, something like that, you could drink that. That'd be even better for you. But I went with the buy because it was sweetened with stevia, and it wasn't that much sugar. Like I said, then I had my lunch. I had my lunch, which was, like I said, the 6 ounces of chicken breast, the 2 bananas, the 2 eggs, the 2 servings of celery, and that was it. And I went and worked out. Then I had my dinner, and that was it. I did not snack. And that was the important thing. That was the key. When I cut out all that snacking, 'cause I used to have peanut butter crackers, because I thought peanut butter was like the healthiest thing. And that's so easy to overeat. I had a lot of fruit, and all the sugars in the fruit, was so easy to overeat because I would eat a lot of it because I stayed snacking. Because once you get it in your mind that you got to eat every 5 minutes or every hour or whenever you're eating like that, you tend to eat that. And so you tend to try to go healthy. You try to stop the weight gain, but, it's actually not helping. Whether it's due to insulin spiking or whether it's due to the sugars in the fruit, I don't know. But I know, I had to call that out in order to make my weight loss work for me. Because I knew me and I knew I wasn't going to weigh my food. I wasn't going to do a lot of meal prepping. But since I went down to 2 meals a day, it became so much more easier to meal prep for my week because I'm only eating 2 meals. So all I had to do on Sunday was cook my cook my lunch and my dinner, for the rest of the week. So that made it much easier. It made it easier for me for the weight to fall off. So it's very important that how much you're taking in. A lot of people don't like to do the FitnessPal thing, I've noticed. And that is a big help. You only have to do it for a week, and then you find out where you are. And that'll be such a big help. And it's so important in order for you, to find out what you have to do to lose weight. Now, you might have to experiment with many different methods. Some people can eat 4 times a day, 4 meals a day, and just be just fine. Some of us have been fat for so long, we created all kind of insulin resistance problems for ourselves, probably have fatty livers or other issues that, we have to work around, that's keeping us from losing the weight. Everybody's body is not the same. Some people don't even process fructose the same, because fructose is known to be processed through the liver and not to spike insulin. That don't mean that's the case for you. That's what a lot of people don't understand. So some of us, we can have the honey, we can have the oatmeal, we can have, the little fruit sugars. Some of us have to cut all that out to actually find out what the problem is. Stop eating the sugar, stop eating the processed food. Go down to 2 or 3 meals a day. And then that way when you add something, and you see a change, you know exactly what it is. When you subtract something and you see a change, you know exactly what it is. And that's very important when it comes to losing weight. So if anybody have any questions, anybody want me to add anything, or want to know how I gained weight or how I lost weight or whatever, make a comment in the section down below, and I'll definitely make a video about it and get back with you on it. All right, 40 Fitness out.